Cool. I think we're live. So, hey everyone, FusionEd coming at you, and get excited because today we're going to be building kind of a spy game like type of thing with like very similar to budget cuts. And if you're new to the stream, welcome. This is our weekly FusionEd stream, and we basically just every week kind of go over a different topic, just kind of like a tutorial type of thing. But I think the really cool part, and it's been working well the last couple streams, is like talk with other developers. Like this is time where like you guys are all together, so make use of that. More than just interacting with me, you can interact with other people. So I think that's a really cool part of these streams, and I look forward to that part every week. So yeah, so I mean, this is just kind of what we're going to be building this week. We have like a nice maze, as well as some drones flying around. And so on the left, you see the scene view, which is just kind of like our development view of in Unity. And if you want to go ahead and download the models, I put a link in the description a couple of minutes ago. So if you want to follow along as we're building this, you can definitely download those and check them out. But yeah, let me hop in here. And so got the Vive controller. It's got a laser pointer attached. So here I have it's open, but on the actual model we did put a roof in. Yep, there goes our little drone guy. So I put a spotlight on them, so they're like walking around, and it's definitely a lot more immersive for sure when I actually have this roof and I kind of feel like I'm like crawling through this maze. But just so that you guys can actually see the whole maze, I decided to take it off. And so I can teleport around. I got, just like in budget cuts, we got this preview window so I can move my controller to like look around and see what's going on before I teleport. If I switched up the controls because I didn't like what they did in budget cuts. But so if I pull trigger again, I can go ahead and teleport to that spot. If I press the grip, then I'm going to not teleport. So for example, I'm pressing the grip now, don't teleport. If I do that, I now teleport there if I pull the trigger. So we can go ahead. These agents here, I added a bunch of, I added basically two types of AI to the scene. So one is just kind of like this passive looking dude that is just randomly floating around the maze. And then the other one, the one that you see zipping around like right here in black, this one was specifically on a path. And actually, I think I have to tweak the settings for it a little bit. But if it runs into me, which I'll make sure it does on the next time, then I think I made the collider a little too small when I was testing. But no, you're not running into me. Why are you not running into me, buddy? There we go. There we go. So yeah, so now if it runs into me, it's now going to be following me around. So as you can see here, follows me here. Me move around. It's now following me, kind of hunting me. Obviously, like in budget cuts, this would be a lot more scary, but I decided to like not have him do anything, so I can like pet him and like it's kind of cool. So yeah, so building something like this, we'll add in a little animation for the propellers because that doesn't come built in with the model that we made, so we're gonna add that in. So that's gonna be cool. Bunch of smorgasbord of different things that we'll be playing around with. So like I posted on Reddit for someone, probably the first half, maybe a little less than the first half of the stream. We won't really be touching coding because a lot of it surprisingly doesn't need coding. But yeah, and then once we like want to create a random agent versus a someone with path, we'll do a little coding, and then also for like the preview sort of stuff, do a little bit of coding for that, like for teleportation. So yeah, super excited. Definitely a lot going on, but it's all like really small parts, and obviously like we didn't focus too much on the visuals this week, but obviously like I think that's one of the cool parts about budget cuts also is their environment is really cool. So like you can build on top of this to like really make an immersive environment. But yeah, other than that, let me pull open the chat here, and let me say hello to everyone. Guys are all super welcome because I'm having fun with this also. Yes, feel free to ask a question even if you're a knob. Don't think of yourself as a knob because most of us. There's actually so if you notice I'm wearing this rabbit hole T-shirt because we put on an event this Wednesday where what do I want to call this? Hold on. I always struggle with names. Let's call this B Cuts Livestream. So we put on an event this Wednesday. I was trying to live stream it, but don't say it. But like ran into some issues with the Rico Theta I was using. I think it overheated or something. Not really sure. But we do. Oh, I hate when this happens. Sometimes I don't know if anyone from Unity is watching this. Like I don't know why. Sometimes it just opens up as a 2D scene as opposed to a 3D scene. Um, Let me go ahead and get rid of that and just open this up fresh. But yeah, the videos for the panels that we did, which were super amazing, they are going to hopefully be up by tomorrow. I'm going to work really hard to get them up by tomorrow. And they were really cool. Like they were, I mean, the reason I'm coming back to this now is they were really stressing that like no one in this industry really knows like what they're doing. We're still all kind of trying to learn. Um, and that's just part of it. So like we're to some degree we're all still knobs, so and myself included. So it's a lot about experimentation and learning as we're doing. Like try a bunch of different projects and learn as you go. So first thing we're gonna do is actually go ahead and just like I do in mostly every stream is just kind of set up the project. So you're gonna go ahead and want to get the SteamVR plugin. So let's go ahead and import that. Um, if you have the 5.4 beta, which I still haven't upgraded to, I'm like waiting for them to release it because I don't want to deal with bugs. But if you do, they're supposedly putting in native SteamVR support, so that should be cool. Want to change the teleporting in a way that I can only teleport onto certain objects. Yeah, I forgot to show that in the demo, but I actually we can make it so that we can only teleport into certain areas. Specifically, in the in that specific thing, I had it so that you could actually climb up the wall, um, while you're teleporting, which is kind of a neat effect. I kind of wish I did show it, but well, we'll get to that eventually once we get to the teleportation part. But yeah, it's not ideal obviously for budget cuts, but still kind of fun to like actually get a bird's eye view in VR of the space. And I'm making toolkit available. Okay, yeah, cool. You guys are talking. I like that. Oh yeah, and by the way, I don't know if Abdo's here just yet, but if he is, he's the one that made the models. You guys were having a good conversation with him last time. Hopefully, if he's not here, he gets here soon. Um, and yeah, you guys can ask him questions about the models because I didn't make them. Let's go with this, and yeah, let's just getting all of the settings in for SteamVR. We're just gonna have to reload the scene to get rid of the color correction stuff. And then I have my models here. So I'm going to go ahead and plop them in. That takes a little bit of time to get the maze and the drone. So yeah, so there we go. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and quickly make a models folder. Drag those guys in, and yeah, pretty much set up the basic Unity scene right here. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and drag the maze in. Let's just go ahead. I learned this neat trick recently. I usually just like type in 0, 0, 0 for my position, but if you actually go ahead and hit reset, that just like moves it to 0, 0, 0 with a scale of 1, 1, 1. So that's cool. And so yeah, so this is a basic maze. I'm gonna disable the roof here so you can actually see what's going on. And yeah, so now first thing we're gonna do is actually go ahead and where is it? Prefabs, camera rig, drag and drop that in. Again, reset that. Oops, come on. Reset. Cool. So as you can see, this play space it's actually not doesn't look that well. Actually, first thing I'm gonna get rid of the main camera because I don't want that there. But as you can see, our maze is kind of small, so we're just gonna have to go ahead and scale that up. And the easiest way to do that, 15 by 15. So it was kind of what I thought. You can obviously make it bigger, however you want to make it. And also, the walls are a little small, so let's go ahead and scale those up. 2 by, I think 3 was a good number. So yeah, so now like we're like if that's like our tiny room area, we now have, we're basically in the center, and the goal in theory, like if we ever want to add like game design sort of stuff, is basically would be start in the center and avoid all of those drones that are flying around. But uh, we'll see how far we get with this stream. Didn't see that it's it's on to-do list. Sweet, cool. I'm just periodically going to be checking the chat just to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Might be, yeah, just flag me with like an @FuseMan or something if you have a specific question for me. That might be the easiest way for me to see it. Yeah, so we got to make sure we're not stuck in the floor. So definitely, oops, not move the maze, move the camera rig up, just so that that blue is like about on level with our ground. And so let's see. So now that we have this, we can let's talk about how you let's talk about nav meshes. So nav meshes are basically the way that you start to build the, how do I describe this? I guess like the floor plan of your world, so that the AI, or like Unity's native AI, is able to know where exactly it can walk, where it can jump, where it can move around, basically. And it does require that you have a kind of like static world. So like a perfect example is this mesh or like this maze. Which I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it all in its glory. And yeah, so we just basically, we want to say, look, this thing is like a static thing, and we have parameters for the path. So let's build something that the AI can walk on. And to do that, we're first going to want to open up, going to go to Window, go to Navigation. I actually have it open already, but this is where you would find it. And yeah, so that's just a panel just like the inspector, where you can basically go here and bake in specific settings. Abdo is in the building, rock on. So yeah, so if you have questions about the mesh, like building that, or like the drones or anything like that, he's there to talk with you guys. So cool. So yeah, these are the specific settings, and you're basically baking it for a specific type of agent. Um, in this case, like, and they do like a little cylinder type of thing. Um, but I mean, it does scale to any type of agent, which we will talk about in a little bit. But it's just kind of like here are the settings we want the I guess in this case the maze to support for our specific agent, and let's bake those in. So we can hit bake, but nothing will happen if we do that right now. And yeah, well, first we need to save the scene. That's important. Maze, let's call this maze scene. So yeah, so we hit bake, nothing's gonna happen. And the reason for that is this baking process only works with objects that are flagged as static. And exactly what static means, it's like it's not gonna move. So what we have to do specifically is we have to mark anything in our scene that we want to be static. And it also has to be static, and it also has to be enabled. And that enabled part is important because, like for the roof, for example, if we don't want to like have to bake anything for that, then we're going to disable it during baking and then enable it a little later, so that we don't have AI randomly appearing on the top of a roof, because you're not going to see that, and why put it there? But to do that, there is a static property here where you can like click it, and that will apply once to all your children. So we're just going to do that because it is fully static. But if you say only want it static for a certain object, so like say for example, you don't want it to be static for your nav mesh, but you want it to be static for, say, baking a light into your scene. You can specifically mark which ones you want to have happen here. Um, but in this case, like it's purely static. Like we want it to be the case for like anything. So we don't have to worry too much about turning it off and on. But like there definitely I think are use cases for that. And yeah, so once we do that, now we can actually go ahead and bake it. And yeah, so here you go. You can all of this blue here is places that an agent that we create in the scene can walk. So let's see. Let me go here. And specifically, it's places we can walk, and if you generate off-mesh links, it's also can be like places. For example, if I put an AI up here and I wanted to jump down, we could do that. So that's kind of what this off-mesh links talks about. I think yeah, I mean, you obviously do have to like add in these variables for like drop height, jump distance. We're not going to be worrying about that too much, but like these are all stuff you can play around with, specific to like whatever scene you're building. So I mean, yeah, so this is kind of baked for this type of agent, and obviously if we say, for example, here, I'm going to go here and reset this back down to 111 and go, if I go back to navigation, you see that it is actually baked to whatever the size of our maze was. So, and we would have to, if we make any changes to like our static objects, we're gonna have to rebake everything. But for us, we don't care because I liked that size. I'm just gonna go ahead and rebake just in case. For whatever reason, the meshing, uh, I forgot an undo or something like that, just to be safe. So yeah, so that's our nav mesh. Simple stuff. As far as like implementation is concerned, like behind the scenes, there's a lot of complex math going on that even I'm not like fully aware of. But yeah, we'll get rid of those errors because I think that was just import errors. And so now we have basic. Oh, actually, you know what? I can show you now. Well, here is basically just the sizing, like um, just so that you guys get a good sense of the scene and like how it scales relative to the headset. So like, it looks like a reasonably sized room. I'm not sure why I'm dropping frames. I think it's just random. Like why it's flashing. Yeah, we're hitting. It's like I don't know. There's like a random FPS drop for whatever reason. Oh, you know why it's so actually. So one thing I should point out is when you're testing, showing off the nav mesh does impede performance. I noticed like when I had generated like a lot of off mesh links, my computer really started to burn out. So I mean, that's just the rendering side of the scene view. If I go in here, it should be fine. Uh, just something to keep in mind, in case you run into issues like I just did, where I'm like, what just happened? So there's that. And so yeah, so we can actually add in, like we can also test it with the roof. We don't have to, but something we can do. Let's go ahead now and play around with the drone. So this is going to be our little enemy. I mean, you have to program in the enemy logic, but this is going to be the AI. So I mean, I think the first thing before we actually get into the AI part, like I said, this is just going to be a smorgasbord of a bunch of different things that you can do to like add life to your scene, basically. And like most of the stuff like that I'm talking about, like doesn't necessarily even need coding, and like that's what I want to show here. So I think the first thing to do is going to be actually animating these propellers. So just to kind of like bring it to life as it's like moving around the scene. And to do that, we actually want to go into window animation. So that pops this thing up, and it'll probably open up in like some random place for you. I just have it set to the bottom because I like having like most of the length of my my window here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit create. an animation clip. Move that into folder, animation, and call this drone flying. Sure, let's go with that. And for that, what we're going to want to do is add a basically add two properties. So you basically select whichever properties you actually want to create moving around. And in this case, what we want to do is so Abdo created like two kind of separate meshes within our drone to represent the fans. So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and get the rotation for each of them. And those are here. So let's just open those up. So once we select rotation from the transform for each of the fans, we get the X, Y, and Z rotations. So and then if you're familiar with like 2D art or animation, like this is just exactly keyframing in like a 3D sense because you're given a lot of different parameters. So we set this number of samples, we set how long of a duration we want everything to be running for, and then we just have it loop. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to set a few keyframes. I'm going to be rotating the Y. So as you saw there, I just added, and that is not at 30 seconds. There we go. So 1 minute clip, and let's just make that 180. 180, no decimals, whatever, find decimals. Oh wait, that's still not at 30. Oh wait, no. Yeah, that's 30. Cool. Yeah, so then you'll see here, it's like rotating around, but going back. So to fix that, one thing we'll do is add 360 here. And yeah, so there you go. We have it spinning. If we want to increase the speed on it, we can actually, like, say, move everything over to the right. So, for example, say if it's like at 30 seconds, if we want to like double the speed, basically, let's move this to 15 and bring this down to 30. Still at 60 FPS, and there we go. It's moving a lot faster, and just simply rotating. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Yeah, here. Again, 180 and 3060. Okay, that just looks weird because of the arrows, but I think it's, yeah, okay. I was like, it looked really weird when you had the transform sticking to it, but I guess it just gives you a different perspective. But yeah, they're spinning at the same rate because those keyframes are aligned. So yeah, I don't think this is, hold on. I don't think this is actually 15. I think this is 15. Yeah, just to make it a bit more even. But yeah, so basics of basically animation and like it within Unity, and you can do this for, again, a lot of different properties. Like transforms, like the easiest because it's applicable to any sort of animation. But for example, if we wanted to like have this kind of animating between colors, for example, we could go into add properties. I think for the drone, yeah, would go into mesh renderer, and then like you can get material color, for example, and like have that animating however you want. Again, like everything here is static, but like for example, like propellers doesn't make that much sense, or like I mean it's fine to like have it going because these things are gonna be constantly moving. So yeah, so that's basics of throwing together little animations, because I think that definitely does bring life to your scene. And I think the other thing that I want to do is go ahead and quickly change the color on this guy. So yeah, so when you import in a model, it automatically adds some material to it to like render it. He isn't reading chat. I am occasionally. If you, if you want to shout out at me, put an @FuseMan in, because that actually highlights for me in the chat makes it a lot easier for me to read if there's like a specific question you guys have that you want to direct at me. So yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try my best to like monitor it as often as I can, but uh, definitely yeah. If you want me to, well, if you want to grab my attention, definitely put an at Fuse, man, because I will. That'll stand out loud and clear. It comes out as it comes out with my name in a green background, so can't miss that. Um, so yeah, so animation, and so for materials, Unity just adds like its standard mesh, right, like mesh material onto it. So we can, I'm just gonna go ahead and make that black. What you'll notice happened here is actually, because we're lousy at naming, the maze also changed color because it's also using this unnamed material. So I'm gonna go and undo that, and we're gonna create a new material. We're gonna call that drone mat, and we're going to add that to all of these. Drag, riff the drone props. FusionEd and Threston are really helping the VR community. Yeah, good job, Threston. Yeah, apologies for like not being able to read it fully, but like, yeah, I definitely, I do really want to answer your guys' questions. So like, make sure if you have anything targeted at me or like, I mean, either way, I'll let you guys do you because I think that's the cool part about this. um, yeah, cool. So yeah, so material. So I'm going to go ahead and make this black because I think that kind of like fits well, or I thought it fit well with the scene. I'm again, this is the art side of things is not my specialty. That's Abdo, so he'll probably be screaming at me right now for like making this black, but until he tells me otherwise, um, I'm going to rock and roll with black. So let's go ahead and actually move that into our scene. Uh, let's see, where do I want to move this? I want to, what's the magic reset trick? And yeah, so here you can see it is actually, it's definitely not what we told the, so we open up this here. It's definitely a lot bigger than our maze. So we're going to want to shrink that. That's probably a good thing, first step to do. And notice how I say, I'm saying shrink it as opposed to making the maze bigger. And this is something you probably want to consider in VR because you do have two options, right? Like you can make the maze bigger, but like as a player, like with a bigger maze, like it can make things appear a lot out of scale. It's like I'm like kind of like this ant in this world, and we don't like for a maze, you don't really want to provide that experience. So it definitely makes more sense to like scale your enemies down to give like that one-to-one mapping, and that's I think pretty important to consider when you're building VR. Is definitely scale is critical, so make sure you make the right choices as far as like how your player perceives your world. Like, do they kind of feel claustrophobic? Do they feel like it's vast and open? Do they feel like it's an actual building room? Like those are all important things to consider. And that's like the reason why I chose 1515, and then I'm gonna fit everything to accommodate that. So what I believe I did was this is 0.5. Oh wait, hold on. So okay, so one thing I should point out, and this is actually a little annoying with the animation tool, is get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. So if you this is so dumb. If you have this red, if your play button is red, what that means is your animation tool is recording all of the changes you do to that specific object, which means like all of the changes that I made up until this point of like the position, the material changes. What else did I change? I think I was about to change scale. Like all of those stuff were being recorded, and that'll mess up your animation clip. So And I wish that yeah, this is not the best user interface, but like, you just have to make sure you, great, it moved it away again, but that's fine. You just have to make sure you stop that recording there. Yeah, I think it reset everything because it was recording and I got rid of the changes, but that's fine. That's not the end of the world. Um, yeah, the thing to keep in mind is like make sure you turn that recording off in your black when you're making changes, especially to I'll go for black for the body and white for the fans. All right, we can do that. We can add more materials. Let's see, where's material? Let's call this wing mat. So they are two separate meshes. So go ahead and apply a nice white to it, and then for the body, put in a black. So there we go. And now we're not recording, so or recording the animation, so that's perfect. So yeah, so there we go. Let's put this back into position over up. No, I don't want to move the body. I want to move the whole object. So let's pull that up about yay so and put in 0.5. Well, I think I want 0.4. I changed my mind. A little bit smaller, a little more cuter. So yeah, so now we have our nice drone flying in place. If we just go ahead and click play, you can see the animation, it's constantly looping. And okay, I don't know why the arrow is shaking so much, because like, yeah, if I remove the arrow, you can see it's not shaking at all as far as the transform is concerned. Kind of weird, but that's fine. And yeah, so there we go. We have the drone in the scene, so now let's get it moving. Or actually red for the fans? Sure, we can make it red. I don't know if that's the red I like, but whatever. Um, that's fine. Yeah, actually, red is a good call, just because it kind of makes it more spy-like, just like what I like. And like I said, I'm not the expert on the art. This is all I've done. So cool. So we have our drone. Let's go ahead and start adding the stuff we need for the agent. And how that looks badass. There we go. See how like I love the color aspect. I have a horrible taste in it, but I think for VR like you need like that good art eye, which is I'm glad I'm working with Abdo on this stuff because I don't have that. Um, so yeah, so we got a let's go ahead and add the AI into this. So got our what we need to do in order to make anything have the properties we want to move around, we need to give it a Nav Mesh Agent. And what that is basically telling it these are the properties of our AI, and you can see that all right here. So like agent size, and it takes in the base values. We're going to be changing that to fit our drone, but these are the base values that you'll need in order to uh, appropriately size, especially like for collision detection and for yeah, for collision detection and just like navigating a maze, like and how much space it takes up. You got steering, so if you want to speed it up and like how fast it turns and how fast it's moving, all of that's there. I'm actually going to change the collision detection to not care, and the reason for that is because what'll end up happening is because the naze is actually kind of narrow for the drone. It'll it'll end up oftentimes when you throw a lot of drones into the scene, they'll start colliding with each other and not being able to move. So by turning that off, you're basically ensuring that the drones don't run into each other and kill each other. Navy green. Yeah, I mean I'm gonna try. We'll touch up the maze in just a little bit, and maybe just to add the look and feel that we want. But yeah, definitely, if you're following along, play with the colors to your heart's content. Unity makes that part pretty easy. So yeah, so I mean, these are just all the settings that we want to consider. And let's just quickly go ahead and so this green cylinder here, just like in the Nav Mesh Agent properties, like that basically indicates what area of our agent to be considered as an agent. So we definitely want that to encompass our full Nav Mesh agent. So I think the radius was 5. Nope, too big. 4. I think that looks about right ish. It's a little outside. We can make that bigger. 4.5. Yeah, I think 4.5 is pretty good. It covers the base, like the whole area in general. And height actually does seem pretty good. Actually, no, we can, yeah, no, height seems good. I'm going to, so if we wanted this actually, so I guess this is a good time to bring that up. So, I guess depending on how you want your AI to move around the scene, like if, for example, we wanted this kind of levitating, which we do, we're gonna actually move this base offset, I think -1? Nope. Down 1. And so it's when the AI is moving, it's basically using the bottom of this the cylinder here to basically indicate where it should be touching our nav mesh. So so for example, if we wanted this levitating pretty high, we can put the base offset at like 2 and then bring actually 1.5. Yeah, I think 1.5 might be good. Maybe? I don't know. You can play around with it. I'm not gonna bore people with with this part, but yeah, if you want it levitating higher, just have the base of it lower on your mesh to be actually to basically push it up and kind of get that levitation effect. Cool. I'm digging the chat, by the way. I think it's awesome. You guys are talking with each other, and that's like really what I wanna be achieving with these live streams. So that's super cool. So yeah, so we have a drone associated with a Nav Mesh agent, and I think the next step is going to be, let's go ahead and just make the setting for maze a little better. So for that, we're actually going to want to go to, well, first, so a couple things. One is you'll see that like this shadow, right? And that's actually be caused by our directional light. So we zoom in to it. It's actually, so you can see it. Let me switch this to global. I can move that up. So directional light. So this is lighting in general, which I'll talk a little bit about, not too much in detail. But I mean, so the directional light is basically the type of light in Unity that, think of it like the sun, except I guess you can set settings. So that you have like these shadows and types of stuff, but it does kind of affect like your whole scene. I think about it that way, I guess, probably the best way of describing it. And so, like as you can see here, if you have a sun from here coming down, it'll create these shadows that you're seeing across the whole maze. Because we kind of want to go for like a darker mood, I'm actually gonna go ahead and rotate this to, well, I'm gonna rotate it like that, and then actually I can never remember my axes. It's kind of a problem, but I'm gonna rotate it to be kind of like facing 180. No, I could be right. 90? Not 90. Maybe a 0. That look right? Are you in the right direction? I can't tell. Yeah, it looks right. Yeah. So now it's just kind of like a sun facing down. I'm going to drop the intensity a lot to darken the mood a little bit. Maybe like 0.2, 0.3. Also, you know that like if you're like starting from a fresh scene, like this directional light does play around with the skybox, which is a kind of neat effect. So you can, I'm just going to spin this around so you can get like a night, day. The sun moves with it. You can get a little dusk. Move it up completely for complete dark. Some cool effects. At least I think they're cool. I don't know if FusionEd does the Unity side of things. He hasn't mentioned anything about orientation flipping. Orientation flipping for the models. Wait, what do you mean by orientation flipping? Yeah, sorry. I got lost in my train of thought. I was like, wait, what could orientation flipping mean? But he'll answer that in a bit. So um, yeah, so that just kind of sets the mood there. We can, if you go into window, where is lighting? Actually, again, I have that open. So with window lighting, you can change around a bunch of properties. So like, for example, the ambient light. So just like there's a directional light, there's an ambient light that like literally touches the whole scene. Directional light will be affected by shadows and stuff, but the ambient light is going to be the one that's like, it's always there. So we can, if we want, make that darker, make that um, and right now it's coming from the skybox, like based on like the color values that the skybox has associated with it. But we can also just change that to a color, so it's like a consistent color across the floor. Make that again a little more darker. Um, so so yeah. Model file itself and not the blend project. Maybe Unity is smart enough to adjust everything. Oh, okay. No, okay. I think I get what. So for the yeah, wait, I might have put the wrong model in. That might be my bad. Is it? Let me know if there's a roof on the model that I put into the. I thought I put the one with the roof, and like then Unity should be able to handle. Like I think the orientation was correct there, but I think in our first draft the orientation was wrong. I did have to flip it, but yeah, the one that we built before didn't have a roof. The one now does. So I think the one with the roof should be correct. But if you don't have that, let me know. Um, so yeah, so that's again making our scene a little darker. Um, there are reflections in here that I'm gonna go ahead and turn off actually, because that again kind of breaks some of the vibes that we want with this. Um, that's all off. I can't remember if I turned any other settings on. But I think for the most part, it's kind of there. It's like there's like a little lighting, but like not too much that it actually, I think I'm gonna make this a little brighter, not too high on the intensity, but just so you can kind of like see the edges and stuff. I think that should do it. As far as lighting is concerned, we can throw the roof in just to see what that looks like. Let's go in here. Yep. So now it's like a lot darker. And now the thing I'm going to add to the drone to actually really make it come to life is a spotlight. So spotlight, there we go. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the roof again so I can see what's going on. Disabled. And yeah, so this is the basic spotlight. You can kind of see the effect here. I'm going to go ahead. So yeah, it's coming straight from the center out. I'm gonna up the intensity a bit, and maybe like 1.5. Up the intensity, double the range, so it's like a lot wider. I'm gonna add shadows to this because if you don't add shadows, what you'll end up actually, and I can show you this right now. Let me do that. I'm gonna move it here. So notice here, if I don't add shadows, the light actually bleeds through the maze, which is not what you want. And it looks weird when you're on the other side of the maze and it's like, wait, there's there's this AI coming at me from what? Where? So we're gonna turn on hard shadows. Hard shadows are a bit more efficient. And these are some of the stuff you want to keep in mind when you're dealing with lighting in general. It's like how much of shadows do I want? Do I want shadows at all? Like all of that sort of stuff, pizzazz. A bunch of settings here. I'm not going to worry about them too much. Again, you can tweak all of that stuff. But yeah, again, with shadows, it realizes that the light wouldn't actually go past the mesh, and then you're fine. So yeah, that is the spotlight. So I think so. We have 15 minutes before I would want to take a break, and I think we can let the basic setup look nice, like make some ish. I do mean sound also. Like sound was actually really important, is it? But like to just get started, I think this is still really cool. So let's go ahead and make let's call this a random agent, and we'll go ahead and open that up. I'll get some water. So yeah, so we have our random agent, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna make sure that, I don't think I've ever used this on a stream before, but we're gonna call require component. And what that basically does is it requires that this script have another type of component attached to the same game object. So in this case, I don't like, also I'll syntax of it, remark. So one thing you can do is basically for an agent, what you do is you just set its destination, and then it's going to work with the Nav Mesh to figure out how to get to that destination. So based on that, since we're basically setting destinations, you have two ways you can do it. One, you update the destination every frame. Two, you figure out when you've arrived at a destination, or basically when you've stopped not moving, and then you go ahead and pick a new destination to go to. Can you zoom in? Oh yeah, thank you for telling me that. I always forget this because mono develop. Let's see, what's it function? View. Oh, control. Yeah, I did to control plus plus, whatever. Zoom. Let's go one more. Yeah. Thanks VR for telling me that. I always forget sometimes about the size, but it's definitely, yeah. I realize with the recording it can definitely come out a little fuzzy unless you have an HD screen, which I don't know how many people have, to be honest. Yeah. So thanks again for shooting that out. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead here. Oh yeah, this is. I'm still a fan of this video. Like this, I put it up at the chat at the very beginning, but this is from last week's stream. Some guy, Alden, built a bow and arrow game using what we built. So that was super cool. And I love, like, if you do anything with like the code we're building, like definitely let me know, because I love seeing what you guys are learning out of this. It like keeps me motivated to keep doing this stuff. So yeah. So what we're gonna do with the random agent? Do you have? I do have Visual Studios. I don't I don't know why I don't use it. I've had issues with it, and I've always been used to monodevelop. Although I know I feel like both have problems, but yeah. But I've talked to people who've like told me, they've told me basically like I should be like Visual Studios has so many benefits, but post in the chat what the benefits are, because I'm still not convinced 100% whether I should switch or not. Um, so yeah, so that's that. And then yeah, for the Nav Mesh agent, what I'm gonna basically what we're gonna do is like in update, we're gonna check to see if we've arrived at a destination, and then if we haven't, then or if we have, then we're gonna update our destination. And to be honest, the control. Let me post this link for you guys in the chat because I have that open. But I just realized that I say it and then that link doesn't make sense for the next 15 seconds until you get to that part of the stream, which is fine. But this is basically this wiki, or this answer basically has the answer for like how you figure out if a Nav Mesh agent stopped. So I'm going to, yeah, honestly, debugging is something. Okay, yeah. I honestly, like, for debugging, what I do is I just like put log errors out to see if I've actually hit points. That's like my most basic way of checking debuggers. I never put the breakpoints in, but maybe I should get used to the breakpoints because I feel like that's probably important. Logo versus VS wasn't natively supported. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think like I'm lazy and since monodevelop comes with it, I'm like also like, I'll use monodevelop. It like it'll work. Just their settings to HD on a desktop one, you can still see the code clearly. Just need to refresh. Oh yeah, I mean that's true, but like in case you don't have a HD monitor, like it's still I think good for me to zoom in, and there's not that much code here anyways. That like it definitely makes sense to zoom in. Let's see. So yeah, so basically that link I posted, basically use this code to like check when your agent is not moving or like is reached its destination. And what we're gonna do is just call it destination. So I'm just gonna create a method here called new destination. We're gonna call that when we're done, whatever you consider done to be. Like there are little bugs here, like especially like I think I would want to add it. So like if like you have two agents kind of coming and not moving, you would set a new destination, but it's not the end of the world. So for new destination, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna create a random dot inside unit circle. Yes, inside unit circle. This was, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what this was. I think I chose 15F, which is probably a lousy number, but this is vector 2, vector 2 new dest. Am I right? Am I right? Yes, I'm right. Okay. So what we're doing here is we basically on our world we are picking a random point on a circle and then scaling that out by 15. So like it's like a 15. It's a circle with degree 15. Here I should be showing this here. So it's like a circle of radius 15, kind of going around here. And it misses like I think some of the parts, but this is just kind of to quickly build something. So that's what we built there, and then nav mesh dot sample position, new vector 3. What else do I want? Oh, we need a nav mesh hit. I'm just filling up parameters here. Max distance. Let's just go 100F. And I forget what the area mask should be. I think it was 1. I think I could be wrong on that. So new dest dot x 0f new dest dot y. Actually, you know what I should do? I changed my mind. I want unit sphere. And then this can be a vector 3, and then I can just pass in new dest. So basically, all we're doing here is we're mapping. We're like picking a sphere around this whole area, and then we map that onto our maze, basically, like that nav mesh. It'll basically find the closest point on the nav mesh that we can physically go to. So that's what we're doing there. I forget if sample position does give me a bool. I believe that bool is if we can go to that point. Has destination. I can't spell. Has as destination. There we go. So that's just if we do it. So if has destination, we're going to say agent dot destination. Fine, we'll use that in it. I don't think I used that destination, but hit dot position. There we go. So yeah, so if there is a destination, which there should be, unless something terrible goes wrong, and I did something completely wrong, then it should go to that destination. So let's apply that to our drone. What did I call it? Random agent. And let's see if I messed anything up. There we go. Really? It's gonna go in here. That's fine. And yep, so now it finds a new destination. I think 15 was probably way too small, which is why it's in there. But yeah, it's kind of moving around randomly. If I open up the navigation mesh, so this orange area here, that's its destination, and then it's trying to get there. Let's see, and then yep, once it gets there, we've set up a new destination, so it'll go there. I think, yeah, 15 was way too small. We will make that bigger so that it actually travels the whole mesh. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of that. Cool. So we're about an hour in. We have a random agent. I think the next steps after this will be to plan a path, and then also plan a path, get some teleportation, laser pointing in, just so we can actually move around and like try to dodge around this maze. But for now, let's go ahead and save this. Switch over here so we don't kill anything, and then let's get some budget cuts going as a little break. Minimize all of this stuff. Where's Steam? Steam budget cuts. Let's go ahead and play that. Watch that. So yeah, it should be like a 5-minute break just to get you guys to catch up. If you're following along, move this in here. Where we go? My audio. Someone told me there's good positional audio in these demos, which I appreciate. So if you have headphones in, you should be able to listen in. I think, which is I think neat. Here we go. Got my headphones in. Sweet. And cool. So I didn't set up room scale, so I might collide into a bunch of different things, which whatever. So if this is your first time seeing budget cuts, there we go. Get out of the wall. Yeah, I mean the goal objective here is basically what was it? Like find your job contract and get it signed or something like that. Something silly. But it's again exactly a maze. You have some neat features like portal gun, or not portal gun. Oh yeah, it's kind of a portal gun. Portal gun, selection tool. Then you have the room scale, and I think the blue is supposed to kind of indicate where you can be walking. But let's go ahead. And oh yeah, so this is like the portal, which we'll implement the second half. But pretty neat effect of like being able to like view where you're gonna go and then jump there with a crew. I can't remember what. I'm gonna jump over there, jump over here, and I'm just gonna walk through this slowly for the first part. And then at the end, I'm gonna try and get through this without killing anything. So let me go ahead and. Oops, there goes my tracking. It's a good thing I don't get motion sick that easily. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Tracking was not the best on the ground. I was kind of hoping to avoid that. Alright, there we go. So it's like my setting right here, right now, it's not the greatest. That, and we are here. I really like that they're like these small little details that you can play around with. You can play catch with yourself with it. It's cool. I forgot to tell you that there are deadly robots that I'm going to avoid all of them. I'll point out a bug which I want you guys to actually like tell me how you would fix this, because I have no idea how to fix this. This is going to be a problem in our implementation as well. Hi, robot. is you can cheat so much in this game. What we're gonna do is, what you can do is this. Swoop. I didn't have to pull that thing out. Swoop. There we go. And so you can actually do this tag. Troll. Come on, get closer. Fine. You don't want to get me closer. You can do this. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Woo. Nope. Hi, buddy. Bye, buddy. See you later. So yeah, you can do that to troll. Wait, where did he go? What in the world? Wait, where did he go? Oh, wait, there he is. Hi, buddy. Alright. Enough toying around with him. So, I'm going to jump over here. And so normally what you're supposed to do is actually disable that. But because we're hackers, oh, dang it. Let's go over here. Swoop. You can use this to get through. Wait, I forget where I was supposed to go here. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go here. Let's wait for him to move any day now. Oops. Time to go. Woo, that was close. That was way too close for comfort. Not okay with that. Alright. Get you out of here. Alrighty. Oh, wait. Dang it, I missed a shortcut. Oh well. That's fine. I think I was in a little too much of a hurry here that I forgot about this, so. So yeah. Let's see if I can pull this off. Sorry. Ow. That's the problem with. Done. So yeah, that's budget cuts when you're hacksoring your way around it. And the game, it's definitely not meant to be played like that, but I think the fastest run like I did was 2 minutes. And yeah, you can get through without killing a thing. Definitely not as intensive, but also since my room is not tracked right now at the moment, or tracked well anyways. Then yeah. Yeah, since my room is not tracked well at the moment, like there are definitely some things that could be improved. As far as like getting through that thing a lot faster. But that's the gist of budget cuts when you're trying to hacksaw your way in 5 minutes to 2 minutes. So yeah, I'm curious. Oh, let me read this now. But like, how would you actually solve that? Solve the cheating issues, design levels, the rooms. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, you could do that. Trying to think what else you could do. Like, I mean, if you like stop the teleportation at certain places, so that you can't walk through walls. I think it's a cool effect to be able to walk through walls, but like it definitely does stop some of the gameplay. Blurring areas don't really solve the problem. You can stick your hand in a wall anyways. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, honestly, probably the best way to solve it would be so that, yeah, you don't load up the whole maze, you only load up the parts that you want people to go through. Because yeah, I mean, if you guys watch Node, I mean, they don't do this hacksaw thing with their budget cuts thing, but you can definitely, one of their videos, they have this gigantic lighthouse setup. That's like, I'm trying to remember what the size was. I think it was like a 30 by 30 space, maybe 20 by 20, one of those two. So it was huge, and like, I mean, you could probably walk the whole budget cuts, walk through walls left and right, and you don't want to stop people from walking through walls because that's going to get them sick. But yeah, maybe it's just like, but at the same time, like if you don't load up anything, or if you load up some, I guess you'd load up something pleasant. Is I guess the way I can describe it. Um, we would add a rich body to the camera. Yeah, I mean, exactly. You could obviously you can forcibly stop the player, but then the tracking gets off. Like as far as like your room space is concerned, it's probably not the most comfortable thing for the user to be able to be like blocked from going where they want to go. Granted, they shouldn't be going there, but uh, need some sort of way to ray trace from the original telephone. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think they do. I do that. I think you just have to. The tricky part, honestly, and I actually really do like the solution of not loading up the rest of the levels because I think that does alleviate the problem of like me being able to teleport into a room I'm not supposed to until I get there. Obviously, I think that does take a bit, it's more involved as far as coding is concerned. But like if you don't want that like teleport, and again, like this is a demo, so like I don't even know if anyone has done that before or realized they could cheat their way through the system. Um, but I think, yeah, if you're building out a full-fledged game, you might want to consider that if you don't want cheating, I guess. Just an interesting design point that doesn't come up in normal PC gaming or mobile gaming because like you can forcibly stop the user, whereas here you can't. Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, you have to add in a lot of checks, which sucks, but because that's a lot more time coding, but definitely I guess something important to think about if you're designing a game that's kind of puzzle based and allows teleportation. I thought that was something interesting to point out. I mean, I'm not going to avoid it here because, like I said, that it's a lot more involved. It's like a lot of if checking that isn't worth our time spending it on, but like you can. So yeah, I mean that was about 10 minutes. um, and so yeah, let's go. Like I said, let's do a plan pathing slash following. Actually, we'll do plan pathing. We'll do teleportation, and then because they're actually, I noticed some bugs with the SteamVR plugin. I think they should be fixed soon, but like there are some bugs that I do want to point out if you're building your own teleportation. We'll do spy cam, and yeah, I think we'll see how far we get. Hopefully we can cover that in the next hour. Let me grab some water real fast. And yeah, let's hop back into it. So for plan pathing, let's create another script. What do I want to call this? I want to call this planned agent. And open that up. That would be. I'm sure your player would approve. Like that, it makes it realistic, right? Get electrocuted when I run to a wall. I like it. I like it. Thinking outside the box. And I'm actually going to go ahead and copy this here because we're going to be using most of the same stuff. Planned agent, what we're going to do is vector 3. Vector 3 path points, called points. So this is going to be, I need to be an array. So we're going to be editing this within the inspector, so it's simpler for us to do. And then we're also going to have a counter. Counter equals 0. You know what's actually interesting though, and I think you noticed it a little bit with yeah, I'm actually surprised they don't do this near the edges. What they do, like if they want you to like crouch, like you saw this like when I tried to go up into the attic, and I messed that part up because I wanted to go through the wall there, but that's beside the point. What they did is like they require you to get crouched down in order to fit the space. Of course, afterwards you can move back up, but it's still interesting that they chose to do that for like that area, but not near the walls. Interesting design things to think about. what I'm gonna do is counter plus 1 mod, what did I call it, points dot length. All right, so what this does is, so we have a counter, and that's gonna keep track of what our previous path on the point, or previous point on our path was. There we go. And instead of a random point, we're going to call this points. Actually, we can just get rid of this. We're going to call this points at counter. So basically, it's just going to kind of loop through whenever it has a destination, then we're going to go through it. So basically, everything stayed the same except we just had to make sure we're using points instead of randomly generating them. You know, oh, fair. Yeah, I should be making this private. You're right. If that's what you're calling, if that's what you're worried about. Yeah, that I normally actually do scope my variables, but sometimes it passes no the int and then new destination. Oh, yeah, you're right. That was dumb of me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That does not need to be there. So let's get rid of it. So yeah, so that'll actually update the global variable. Good cow. Cool. So let's go ahead on the drone, get rid of the random agent. Let's go ahead, put planned agent in here, and then we'll put we'll have it like just like I had before with the agent. I'm gonna have it looping around here. So for that specifically, I'm gonna go ahead, just figure out what these positions are. So like right there is negative 12.47, 1.25, negative 12.27. This one, this corner here-ish is 12.47, 1.25, 12.42. This one here. So it's, yeah, it's just like filling this part up. 1.25, 12.42. And then I could figure that out, but I'm not going to. So it's 12.51, 1.25, it's negative 12.53. I should actually be using 2.7, but actually I'm going to use 2.7. 2.7 just to be consistent. And we're starting about, yay, so can I go 0? Yes, I can go 0. Okay, cool. So that's just kind of defining the path we want, and just kind of hard coding those values in because we know the maze and like we know what the path is going to be. So now if I go ahead and hit play, it's going to turn. It's going to go to this corner. I guess my pathing there was a little off, but that's fine. It's just moving around slowly. We can also dynamically increase its speed to say 5. Maybe more because I'm getting bored. Let's speed that up. Oh, I guess I should point out something here. If you want to avoid overshooting, because I think that's an issue. So like if I made this like 100, okay, it auto breaks here. But sometimes like if I, for example, hit the point in the middle and there was a leeway for it to go on this maze, it would actually probably run way past it and then autocorrect back. So like that's something to keep in mind with say these speeds. And obviously like here, like it's not accelerating too much because I don't think it's actually ending up hitting 100. But yeah, again, things to keep in mind when you're designing stuff, and it's all in the testing part really. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close that. So now let's just add some basic teleportation / a laser pointer in because otherwise, yeah, let's add the teleportation and laser, and then we can go ahead and like have it follow us, like when it gets activated, and then hunt us down, and then we can pet it. is what I'm going for here. Make it scary and then not scary. So for this, what we're going to do is I'm going to do everything on the right controller. Obviously, like if you are left-handed, you can switch them around. That's pretty easy. You can also add custom code, like if you want to, for example, like have like a button that you switch things around. You can customize that in, but like it's sometimes nice to just kind of switch or keep things simple, and just assume, say, right-handed. So for this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a SteamVR laser. No, that's not how you spell laser. There we go, laser pointer. And so make sure you put it on a tracked object. So in this case, it's the right hand. I like red, so I'm gonna do red. Let's go ahead and give it all the references it needs, which is specifically this. I think it gets overridden later, but that's pretty much all we need there. Go ahead, test this out. There we go. Yep, there we go. Got a nice little laser pointer. Doesn't do anything, but we can now point around. We know exactly where we're pointing at all times, which is neat, and I love that it comes with your extras. So convenient to do without having to do much. So laser pointer is in, and so now the fun part, which is teleportation. So for that, teleporter, enable that. I'm going to put it on collider, and specifically for collider, what I'm going to do is for the floor and the maze, I'm going to add in a mesh collider. They are, well, the floor is convex, and that's just, you click this if you know it's convex. It's like basically convex is kind of like a closed. I shouldn't be explaining this because I don't know exactly what it means. At least in this context, I thought it's specifically like a kind of like a closed mesh. So for example, the floors here are not really convex. So I'm not going to click it. You can. It will probably cause bugs. And so yeah, so that's teleportation. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna say it doesn't work, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it doesn't work. And that is a bug. Hopefully this gets fixed soon. Let's just open up the script. And I think it's specifically only a bug for a use collider, which I kind of find annoying. So this is their script. We did make sure teleport on click was occurring. And yeah, here it is. So you see here, so for their has ground target, this variable bit just to basically make sure that you actually go where you want it to go. For the collider, they forgot to do this. Has ground target. And I don't know who they is actually. It could be Steam. I know this is like an open source project. That I need to figure out where exactly it is in the world. Yeah, for the next, probably whenever they make a new patch, and hopefully this is not an issue with Unity 5.4, but whenever they make a new patch, until they make a new patch, this is something you want to do if you are using a collider. A lot of haters on MonoDevelop. I'm like, so there we go. So yeah, so now we're just teleporting around, and yeah, this is the thing I wanted to point out from last time is, yeah, if I click specifically onto one of these walls, I can kind of become like Spider-Man and like fly around. There he is. Moving around. Again, I can go through the walls because you don't want to stop them, but I can also climb up onto here, look around at the whole maze. Obviously, you don't want to enable this, but until we disable it, it's still a nice feature to have, I think. So yeah, so that's gonna like fly around. So I think the next thing to do, hi buddy. Yeah, he's moving around really slow. I'm gonna increase the speed on him because I don't like that. It's just personal preference. Push G sharper. Yeah, it's kind of like Spider-Man. If you played Windlands, which if you get motion sick easily, don't recommend. um, but if you have, it's kind of the same. I actually I don't know if I'd put it akin to Spider-Man or akin to well, I guess it's kind of the same deal. Attack on Titan was what I was gonna say, where you're like you shoot. I don't remember what they were called, the belt things. Um, let's see. I don't have resharper. You fix the audio. Audio's fine for you. Oh, that yeah, okay. I'll try to speak louder when I like move back here. I need to, yeah, my mic is actually on top of the laptop, so like when I move back out here for tracking, that probably affects some things. But hopefully like when I'm closer here actually doing the development, it should be fine, question mark. But yeah, let me know. I can try to speak up also. That's still useful feedback for me. So yeah, so now that we can actually move around, let's go ahead and um, make it follow us when we actually get in the line of sight. So for that, what we're gonna do is yeah, on the drum. So we're going to go ahead and add a box collider, and you can pretty like as long as you're not adding a mesh collider, like what are the other colliders? I forget. Box collider, you have capsule collider, sphere collider. Yeah, I would recommend box or capsule. And what we're going to do with that is put that right in front of our little buddy here. I'm just going to make this big so I can see what it looks like. So yeah, so you can see in the scene view that is the box. Don't confuse that with the cylinder. We're going to, what is that? That's in the Z. It's in the X. Come on. There we go. Let's also do it in the Y. And then shift this in the Z. Should make this a little smaller. Yeah, these are just like numbers you can play around with. Probably make the Z a little bigger, 20 or so. No, I changed my mind, 15. Move this to 8. That should be good. Good enough, anyways. And let's just make it a trigger. You can manipulate the collider. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, although I don't know why I don't do it. I should probably do it, but yeah, you can click that. Good call. In case you're more visual than me and want to edit it. Oh, edit it here. Wait, does it let you do offsets, or is it just scaling? Let's scale. Okay, yeah, it does let you do offsets. So yeah, so if you don't have numbers that you specifically want to play around with, then you can also use that, which is cool. It's a nice little effect to use. So yeah, so it's going to be a trigger. And so let's go ahead, let's go to the planned agent. I'm just going to do this in the planned agent. Sorry, I made this mistake last time. I'm not going to make this time. So for this, we need to make sure we add a rigid body, because that will get us the event call that I want to write right now. Do you post these on Git or somewhere else when you're done? I posted the last one. If people want this on Git, I can. But yeah, I just kind of gauge interest and see if like people want it or not. And based on that, I can put it on Git or not. So with the wall, you should put the box clutter in the maze walls. So you don't go through the wall. You mean this box collider? Yeah, let me know which box collider you're talking about. So for this, void on trigger enter, collider other. So for that, this is basically just your standard method for letting you know when you want something, when something enters your collider. That's what I want to say. Might as well get used to everyone asking if you. Yeah, I know. I mean, at some point it'll probably become standard. It's just like extra work for me because I also do want to make sure like the stuff is licensed properly. Because I'm just kind of nitpicky about that. And so like again, like if people gauge interest, like I'm just gauging interest. That's pretty much all I'm doing. Oh yeah. There's a lot more work, as you see with budget cuts, to like actually make something a full-fledged game. This is just to get people started and like realize like the barrier to entry isn't that high. That's the main gist of these streams really, is you can get 80% of the way there with 20% of your effort, and then making it actually polished, and like clean and professional looking, that might take more time. And like that's the same with like any game studio. But like to get something interesting and prototypable working in VR, and like then make it beautiful, like that's what we want. If you want it, then that I can. So yeah, so that's on trigger enter collider. What we're just gonna say here is I'm going to put this as a game object. Private game object follow target, and we're just gonna say follow target equals other dot game object. So we're just saving whatever we collided with was. And here, what we're gonna say is, okay, I should have done this back here. Vector3 new dust. If follow target doesn't equal null, new dust equals follow target dot I can't spell, transform dot position, else new dest else here we want to update the counter and update our new dust equals this, and then we're just going to put new dust in here. So yeah, all we're doing here is if there is a target to follow, then we're going to follow it. Otherwise, we'll just continue going on our path. Actually, try to make a GTA knockoff in UT. I'd watch that. Thanks, Thrashin. See you next week, I guess. But yeah, so that's the planned path and follow target. The only thing we have to do is on our head, we're just going to go ahead and add a box collider. Make this ginormous. I'm thinking 2x2, 3x3. Yeah, 3x3 should work. No, that's way too big. What am I talking about? 2x2. Thanks, man. Appreciate the sub. Just keeps just for me to like let you guys know when cool stuff is coming on, because that's happening every week. Plus the random videos I post. Like I put that strategy video on out of ammo, which I think was a lot of fun to make, and I think some people might enjoy that. So yeah, so that's the box, just to kind of indicate where we are. And so now let's actually teleport over there. Oh wait, no. One thing I should do is, so actually because the floor and the walls have a collider on them, this thing is actually going to collide with that. So what we're actually going to want to do is, if just so that it's only tracking the player, player.gameObject.tag equals main camera. Then so if that happens, then we'll follow the target. Otherwise, we're just gonna ignore it. You can do this with layers. You can do this with tags. Just to kind of have some way to identify what are the things you actually want to target. So with that now built, let's go ahead and see if we can get in his path. There we go. There. Where is he? He's not there. Where did he go? Wait, I didn't realize there was a wall here. Okay. Wait, where did the drone go? Oh, there he is. I like the spotlight effect. So, oh, I jumped way too far. That's what I did. Okay, now I'm in his path. So now he should be coming to me. Hi, buddy. There you go. And yeah, so actually as I like move around, he's like updating his position accordingly, which is kind of gives us like pet-like effect of like having these every so slight movements, which I think is really cool. So yeah, I can move over here. He's gonna follow me. Move over there. Turns around. I didn't update his speed, did I? Let me do that real fast because he is moving way too slow for my taste. I think 6 should be good. It ran from me. It was running from me because it was still on that planned path. There we go. No, come back here. I think I got him into space. There we go. Got him. So yeah, there you go, buddy. I can move over here. It's gonna follow pretty swiftly. Let's jump over here. So now, let's see. If I go Spider-Man on him, I don't think he's gonna follow because he doesn't know how to jump. It's gonna get close. Oh yeah, now he's gonna come around because the point that's closest is down over there on the behind me. So you should. Yep, there he is. There he is. Let's jump down here. Say hi to him. Of course, if I if I like walk through this wall right now, then he's gonna have to go the long route, which sucks for you. But yeah, that's like basics of getting him to follow me. So what did I hit? Oh, just my chair. Okay, cool. So cool. So I think yeah, it's still closer on this side. I think if I go here, hopefully yep, he's moving around, zipping along. But yeah. Move the collide box so the tip will push you and you won't go into it. Oh, into the wall. Actually, wait, what did I do with the head? Actually, I think so. The collider, I believe. How does the collider work? Collider. If you just throw a collider on something, you can still position. I think it's you have to have a rigid body for it to actually like push me back. Because yeah, I mean like the one on my head isn't a trigger because I actually need it to intersect. But I think I do need the rigid body in order for it to actually push me back. Which I don't want to have happen because I don't want to like run into a wall and get and be like, what is going on? So yeah, so that's basics there. We have about 20 minutes left. Let's go ahead and I'll show you guys how to do like that preview window. And I think that should about wrap that up. We can of course add a bunch of drones and a bunch of different paths flying around everywhere. And I think that's also fun. But let's see, what do I want to do? So, okay. First thing we're going to do is create a render texture. We'll call this spy texture. And we're going to up this to 24. So this is basically a texture that we can apply to an object in our scene, and but the difference between this texture versus a normal texture is that it's also attached to a camera. So we're throwing another camera into the scene that'll then be able to kind of view what we're doing. So for that, what we're gonna do is, where's camera? Camera. Go on, yeah, that's a good view, actually. That's pretty decent. We'll call this the spy cam. What is search collider spot you through a wall right now? Yeah, actually probably would. Um, so yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Um, and you can play around with that as far as um, like you can add checks for like, did I collide, and then is it in my line of sight, or is there something? If you add like a Raycast, for example, and it hits one of these walls, well then maybe, yeah, then don't make a target. And like, yeah, there are a bunch of checks you can add there. I'm trying to think if there are any easy ones that can go past the walls. I mean, obviously, if you like make the collider smaller, but yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of checks you can make like to go for that. And I think I would say the Raycast is probably the most efficient way to check it. I mean, I haven't thought about it fully, but it's definitely, I think that would probably be the most viable thing to do. Like to just check if I collide with a wall first, or do I collide with the person, basically. So yeah, let me know if that answers your question. Let's go ahead and drag the spy texture onto our spy cam. And so that basically, it'll write out the image to our texture. And then the last thing I'm going to do is on our controller here, we're going to create a quad. And actually, yeah, we're going to create a quad. And I'm just going to drag spy cam onto it. You'll notice now that it's a standard, what am I trying to say? Standard shader. So it'll be receptive to light, and because we're in a kind of low light setting, you're not going to be able to see what's on the texture that well. So we're actually going to change that to an unlit texture, and so that then you'll be able to see the image a lot more clearly. And let's call this preview. And now, where is it? So let's just go ahead and wait 1 second. I just gotta make sure it's okay. Yeah, so it is lined up correctly. I'm going to make it smaller real fast, and also let's see. I don't remember, 0.2 I think was a good value. Yeah, 0.2 is pretty good, and then we're just gonna move it up a little bit, just above the controller, like so. Yeah, that should be good. And what is this? This is like 0.15. Let's just like copy this, because while you're in play mode, the changes you make are not going to be saved permanently, which is a kind of a mixed blessing, because sometimes you make changes and you want them saved, other times you don't. So yeah, so now we have the preview, and then all we really need to do is actually just add in a lot of code just to make sure that all the states are basically tracked for us. So yeah, I can go and do that if you want to see that, or alternatively, we can, if you want to see something else, let me know. I'll leave this up to you guys for the last 20 or so minutes. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue finishing this up. Or if you have questions about anything else, actually, I want to leave this time as kind of like a Q&A, because like nothing here is going to be terribly new or fancy. It's just kind of be the grunt work, I guess, of actually putting stuff together. So yeah, just let me know in the chat. So yeah, I'm going to go here to the teleporter. Okay, see if I'm pronouncing that Marseek. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, like I was just saying, let me know. This is kind of a Q&A time right now. Honestly, I'm just going to be kind of finishing up some stuff. So if you have any questions about anything, like projects you're working on or other stuff you'd want to learn more about, let me know. Let's see, what did I want to add? I wanted to add, actually, wait, why does this work? Oh, it does add the controller. Can we easily check that the teleportation destination is a valid? We can. We can add that in right now. Let's go ahead. So like within the teleporter, this is start. Since we're using Collider, we'll just put the code here. You might want to generalize it to a bunch of different things. So here, I think what we'll want to do, NavMesh dot. Oh, okay. Would you want to see if it's like valid, or do you want to see a point that's closest to the nav mesh? Because we can do. I'm not sure if we can check if it's valid with the information we have. Since our channel included in SteamVR, be a way to avoid going on the roof, for example. Yeah. Let's see. This dot. What is it? This dot. No, sorry. Hit info. Hit info dot point is going to be the point we want to check. Let's do out hit. Let's see. The max distance, I mean, we can set that. I guess if we set max distance to 0, then that's effectively checking whether or not that point. Yeah, let's try it. If we set max distance to 0, I want to see if that, or like a very small value, that might be a way to check if we're on the mesh or not. And then let's see, as ground target equals that. And then yeah, let's see, because that could be a good way of checking if we're on the nav mesh or not. So yeah, so now I'm not teleporting around, and that might, I don't know if it's just like 0f is too small for it, or oh, okay. I just noticed this right now. If you're adding in a spy cam, just make sure to remove the audio listener on it, just because otherwise you need to complain and it doesn't know where properly to put sound in the environment. But let's see, maybe if I made this 0.1f, let's try that out. Okay, that's working. Yeah, now I can't go on the walls. I can only move here. I can't, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually move around to test and see if I can go in between walls. Let's get up close. So yeah, okay, so I think the nav mesh, because of our settings, there's nothing here in this, how does that look for you guys? Well, you can't see anything. What in the world? Has it always been like that? Okay. Oh, okay, now I know why. So if I go, like in this small 0.5, because of the radius that we set for the radius we set for the nav mesh was 0.5 for the agent. So it's like you're not able to teleport within that space. Do I have space? Okay, move back. Make as much space as I can. Okay. I think that's pretty close. So yeah, so now, oh wait, this is all part of the mesh? Okay, interesting. So yeah, it looks like this area here is part of the mesh though. Even though the agent can't really move around in it, but I guess the fact that we're teleporting like makes this part of the mesh. Can obviously go here, but like once we're, and that's actually probably a good thing. Like if you accidentally get within the wall, you would want them to like have a way out. But yeah, I mean, as far as like making sure you don't climb up this wall, or oop, there you go, found me. He found me. But yeah, and I mean, like, you can still move around pretty well. I can't go close, so that's, yeah, so that's pretty cool. And like that's definitely convenient. You can only like walk in walls. Now I'm just like zooming around this map, seeing if he can actually catch up to me. But yeah, we're definitely guaranteed to make sure that we're at least not teleporting within walls or like up walls. We're only teleporting. We're only teleporting to where we need to. So yeah, thanks for asking that. That was a good question. And we were able to solve it to some degree, at least. I mean, you can. I think it's all in this number really. You can make it as small as possible. 0, I think, is it needs to be super precise. But like if you have like a little bit of leeway, should be good. So neat. And I guess so one thing I should point out also is we didn't change the code for where the position's going, so it's still using the position that the Raycast detected. It's not using the position on the Nav Mesh, which, again, those numbers are close enough. They're off by like 0.1 at most. That it shouldn't be a big deal. But if for whatever reason you want one or the other, like if you created a lot of leeway, then you might want to change the position you use to be specifically the Nav Mesh position. So that's that. Does that hit gives you the position? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can use, or where did we use it? We used it here, right? Yeah, we used it here. With the set destination, we use hit position. So yeah, can definitely, that gives you the position that you want. So we'd use that, I think, somewhere as ground position, head, dot local, that's the base rate. Yeah, okay, so you'd use that instead of this, I believe. Hey, live streaming, dude.
You're live streaming?
Yeah, man.
Here?
Here. It's
Nice space.
I mean the Vive. I don't know. I had like some issues with the Vive a little bit, but it worked enough.
Wait, what are you live streaming?
Tutorial on how
Sorry,
to
are you
make.
in the middle of something right now?
I'm kind of wrapping up. It's like the last. Yeah, it's like the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's like kind of like budget. Wait, have you played Budget Cuts?
I haven't. I heard it was really good.
Yeah, you should try it out. That wasn't it. We were having fun with it like about an hour ago.
Yeah, I heard it was really good. Yeah, Jordan and Gordon saw it and he was like, "Holy shit, it's like the best thing ever." Like, obviously this sucks compared to.
Well, there you have it.
Well, I'll have to play it sometime. I don't have time for that.
Fair enough. All right, later. Yeah. Sorry. I'm streaming from Stanford right now, so there are people I know that are around campus that gotta say hi. Yeah, I'm like I said at the beginning of the stream, this is gonna be a smorgasbord of stuff, and of course it's recorded afterwards. So, and I'll put in timestamps to like kind of make sure you can jump to like wherever you want to go. So like if you want animation, there'll be a timestamp for that. Actually, yeah. I mean, I don't think I have enough time right now to actually like um finish the preview jumping. Can try my best, but at this point, I mean, it's, again, I'll leave it up to Q&A and just seeing what. Actually, no. You know what I want to do is I want to add some drones around. I just have them like flying around everywhere. That's what I'm feeling. So I think that's not as valuable, probably, unless like people want to see keeping handy bookmarks to this. I mean, yeah, honestly, I mean, I put up the timestamps, but if you guys want to do timestamps and help out on these streams, I would appreciate that. That's, I mean, again, this is like a community, like I want to make it a community type of thing. So timestamps from you guys are very much appreciated. Got the idea. Cool. Yeah. In that case, um, yeah, like I said, like the gist of the spy cam stuff is just move the camera to like where the position was hit, move the um, uh, like add a little bit of movement of the camera, like when you are moving your controller around, make sure it's like rotating, like basic stuff. Make sure it's like enabled only when you want to teleport. Nothing. I can like it's mundane work, I think, rather than like normal game development work. Like I think there's still stuff to be learned from doing it, but not nearly as exciting as I think some other stuff that you can do with VR. Doing a demo where you can scale larger or smaller in an environment be a really cool idea. Okay. I mean, actually, you could do that here. Honestly, it's actually not, I need to figure out. I mean, I guess like for the large and small, I need a good game design for that. It's actually pretty easy to do. Um, all you have to really do is scale this thing up. If I want this to be 10 by 10 by 10, then all of my movements are mapped within a 10 by 10 by 10. But like you gotta do that meaningfully. Like if you want to change that size, kind of like I guess the stereotypical example would be like Ant-Man. Yeah, exactly, Ant-Man VR. Or like that could be cool. Like if you create a maze where uh, like you need to like change in size to like go through certain places, or I guess exactly like budget cuts, like uh, Giant Cop. No, I haven't tried Giant Cop. Device or spell that makes you really large or fly. Yeah, exactly. I think those could be really cool. I haven't tried Giant Cop. What is Giant Cop? Giant Cop VR question mark. Let's see. Is it on Steam? Is this on Steam?
Welcome to Micro City. Don't get too comfortable.
Oh, you know what I have tried is
Got 'em. Now throw them into the police station and make the arrest.
this is great actually.
They're gonna wake up with a hangover and
Oh,
a court
okay.
date. One more arrest will get you expanded.
No, is that Maker's Fair? Oh man, I should have gone. Damn. Oh well.
Some new.
This looks like a lot of fun. Like, I'm a huge fan, like as you probably know, of Out of Ammo, where yeah they do change your perspective a lot, which is cool. But like this is also really fun. If you guys want to see, like again, like this isn't terribly hard to do. So like, if you guys want to see a stream on that, we can do that. The ragdoll effects. I need to play around with ragdolls. That's something I haven't done. Wasn't a humble bundle. Oh man, I missed it. Keith at SVVR, the meetup last night. Maybe. Otherwise I missed him. Demo at Tofu people at Maker Fair. Way better than its description makes it sound. I haven't played Final Approach. But let's see. Final approach. Oh, yes, I remember this one. Yeah, I should. There are a lot of VR games I still need to try out. That is definitely a thing. GUI seems a little silly though. What would be awesome is a game, maybe an RPG where you get to place all of your enemies, then go into their scaled. Yeah. Joe, that's actually literally out of ammo, which I highly recommend supporting. And I don't work for them, but but it's literally what you describe, and they're doing an amazing job, like putting out patches, getting feedback from the community on what people want to see. So yeah, super cool stuff. Um, this is I like this part of the stream also. It's fun to like talk with you guys and see what you want to what you want to see. Yeah, no, I thoroughly approve of Out of Ammo. It's like uh, if not the best, I think one of the best I think VR experiences I've had. You need to play Out of Ammo because it's literally literally what you described. You play well. You don't place. Wait, did you say enemies? Uh, you get to place all your troops. So you have riflemen, you have snipers, you have rocket launchers. I think those are the three troops. I might be forgetting one. Oh yeah, medics, mechanics. Um, and yeah, like when enemies are coming at you, you get to control one of those troops and actually become them. Yeah. Actually, so yeah, might do something along those lines. I think yeah, skill could be cool, like switching between perspectives and maybe something very simple like I don't know. We'll see. I've also like, considered potentially like playing around with Daydream next week. There are a bunch of different topics I can be going over. Let me. I mean, you can definitely tweet at me at FusionEd VR if you want to like if there's a specific topic you want us to go over. I definitely have a list like from these streams of like what people want to see. Um, Prodding along through it as best I can. But I think also people tend to really like the from scratch approach. So we're trying our best to like figure all of that out. Um, Wait, what? You can no. Okay, I need to do that. I didn't know you could zoom the sniper. That's a game changer. Okay. Wow. That's I need to try that out when I make my video for this week. Because that I think will be super cool. I'm gonna close this. Yeah, and I guess apologies for like not getting to like fully finish the preview stuff because I think that's actually a really cool feature of budget cuts, but um, still, I covered a lot of ground in this smorgasbord of stuff, and now you know how to actually like, put some cool AI like and manipulate them. Um, at FusionEd VR, there's a link to that in the description, as well as our Facebook page. So support us there. That you'll get all the like. I mean, more than supporting us like with that, it's more so that you get the notifications like in one means or another, whether that be a subscription or subscribing to the channel um, or like on Twitter, on Facebook. There's just a bunch of social media outlets, like whatever you prefer, you can get notifications via that. That's what the whole point of that is. But yeah, so yeah, so it's 12. I'll stick around in the chat for a little bit. And like I said, if you enjoyed this or have ideas for what other stuff you want to see, like on the video, comment stuff, or follow us on social media. But yeah, that's it for this week's stream. And I will see you guys in videos and next week's stream. But yeah, that's it for this week. It's been FuseMan, signing out.